For more than a century, astronomers have been haunted by the same terrifying possibility. There is another planet hiding in our solar system. Not a small asteroid, not a frozen comet. A real planet, massive, dark, and so distant that sunlight barely reaches it. A world larger than Earth, drifting through eternal night at the very edge of the sun's gravity. And the strangest part? We may already be seeing its fingerprints. Far beyond Pluto, objects in deep space are moving in impossible ways. Entire clusters of icy worlds appear tilted, stretched, and dragged into strange alignments by an invisible force. Something out there is bending the architecture of the solar system itself. Scientists call it Planet 9. If it exists, this hidden giant could take up to 15,000 years to orbit the sun once. It may be a failed planet, an ancient rogue world stolen from another star system, or something even more disturbing, because some astronomers believe the mystery object isn't a planet at all. Could be a black hole. And right now, humanity is closer than ever to discovering the truth. New telescopes are beginning the greatest search ever attempted. A hunt through the darkness beyond Neptune, where something enormous may already be waiting. The planet we cannot see. There is a region of our solar system so distant, so cold, and so unexplored that it feels less like space and more like another universe entirely. Beyond Mars, beyond Jupiter, beyond Neptune, lies an endless darkness where sunlight becomes weak and time itself seems to slow down. Temperatures fall hundreds of degrees below freezing. Entire worlds drift silently through blackness for billions of years without ever being seen by human eyes. Somewhere out there, astronomers believe a giant hidden planet may be orbiting our sun. They call it Planet 9. According to current predictions, this object could be between 5 and 10 times the mass of Earth. It may be an icy super-Earth, a dense world made of frozen rock, metal, and compressed ice. Unlike the bright gas giants, Planet 9 would reflect almost no sunlight, making it nearly invisible against the dark background of space. And it is unbelievably far away. Neptune orbits the Sun at about 30 times the Earth-Sun distance. Planet May 9th travel more than 500 times farther out. At that distance, the Sun would appear as nothing more than a bright star in the sky. A full orbit around the Sun could take between 10,000 and 15,000 years. If humans had discovered this planet during the construction of the pyramids, it still would not have completed a single year. So why do scientists think it exists? Because something strange is happening in the outer solar system. Far beyond Pluto is a massive region known as the Kuiper Belt, a frozen graveyard filled with ancient chunks of ice and rock left over from the formation of the planets. Most of these objects move in random directions, shaped only by the gravity of the Sun and giant planets. But a handful of them are behaving in ways that should not be possible. Several distant Kuiper Belt objects appear clustered together in oddly stretched and tilted orbits, almost as if an unseen hand is guiding them. Some orbit at extreme angles. Others move in directions opposite to the rest of the solar system. The chances of all these objects naturally aligning this way are incredibly small. Something massive appears to be pulling on them. That invisible gravitational force became the foundation of the Planet 9 hypothesis. In 2016, astronomers Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin announced that the strange movements of these distant objects could best be explained by the presence of a giant hidden planet lurking deep in the darkness beyond Neptune. The announcement shocked the scientific world, because this would not just mean discovering another planet. It would mean that humanity's map of the solar system has been incomplete the entire time. For centuries, we believed the solar system ended neatly with the planets we could see. But Planet 9 suggests something far more unsettling. We may still have no idea what truly exists in the outer darkness surrounding our sun. And this would not be the first time humanity discovered a planet without actually seeing it. The discovery that changed astronomy forever. Long before scientists began searching for Planet 9, another invisible world had already changed astronomy forever. Its name was Neptune. The story begins in 1781, when astronomer William Herschel spotted a strange object moving slowly across the night sky. At first, he believed it was a comet, but after weeks of observation, scientists realized it was something far more important. Humanity had discovered Uranus, the first new planet ever found in modern history. Until that moment, people believed the solar system ended with Saturn. Uranus shattered that assumption instantly. Suddenly, the universe became larger than anyone imagined. But the real mystery came afterward. As astronomers tracked Uranus over time, they noticed something disturbing. The planet was not following its predicted orbit correctly. Sometimes it sped up slightly, sometimes it slowed down. It was as though some invisible force was tugging on it from deep space. This phenomenon is known as gravitational perturbation. In simple terms, objects in space do not randomly drift off course. If something changes their motion, gravity is usually responsible. And gravity means mass. Somewhere beyond Uranus, something enormous had to exist. Two mathematicians, Urbain Le Verrier in France and John Couch Adams in England, independently attempted to solve the mystery using only mathematics. Without ever seeing the hidden object, they calculated where a new planet should be located based entirely on the strange movements of Uranus. It sounded impossible, but in 1846, German astronomer Johann Galle pointed his telescope toward the predicted location. And there it was, Neptune. Humanity had discovered an entire planet using math alone. The discovery transformed astronomy forever. Scientists realized they no longer had to wait for planets to reveal themselves visually. Gravity itself could expose hidden worlds. That idea eventually inspired the search for another unseen planet beyond Neptune. In the early 1900s, astronomers believed Neptune also showed signs of strange motion. Once again, scientists suspected an unknown world farther out in the darkness. The hunt for Planet X began. Then, in 1930, astronomer Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto. At first, people celebrated it as the missing planet. Newspapers around the world announced the discovery of the 9th planet in the solar system. But there was a problem. Pluto was tiny. Despite appearing bright through telescopes, Pluto was nowhere near massive enough to affect Neptune's orbit. Later measurements revealed that Neptune's supposed wobble had mostly been caused by errors in earlier observations. The mystery planet had not actually been found. Yet Pluto's discovery revealed something unexpected. The outer solar system was not empty. As telescopes improved over the decades, astronomers discovered more and more frozen worlds beyond Neptune. Entire populations of icy bodies filled the Kuiper Belt, suggesting that the solar system continued far beyond where scientists once believed it ended. And hidden among those countless distant objects, new orbital anomalies began appearing again. This time, however, the evidence looked much harder to dismiss. Because unlike the Pluto mistake, multiple distant objects were now displaying the exact same strange gravitational behavior. And once again, scientists began asking the same terrifying question. What is out there pulling on them? The evidence for Planet 9. In 2016, two astronomers at the California Institute of Technology made an announcement that reignited one of the greatest mysteries in modern astronomy. Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin believed they had found evidence for a hidden giant planet in the outer solar system. Not by seeing it, but by studying the strange behavior of objects orbiting far beyond Neptune. At the edge of the Kuiper Belt, astronomers had discovered several icy bodies with extremely unusual orbits. These objects traveled around the sun in long, stretched ellipses that all pointed in nearly the same direction. That should not happen naturally. Over billions of years, gravity from the giant planets should scatter these objects randomly across space. Their orbits should look chaotic and unorganized. Instead, they appeared strangely synchronized. Imagine throwing handfuls of debris into the air and watching every piece land perfectly aligned. The odds are incredibly small. Brown and Badigian calculated that the probability of this alignment happening by random chance was less than 1%. Something massive seemed to be controlling these distant worlds. Using computer simulations, the scientists recreated the early solar system in virtual models. They tested two scenarios, one with Planet 9 and one without it. The results were shocking. Without Planet 9, the outer solar system quickly became unstable and failed to match what astronomers observe today. But when a giant hidden planet was added to the simulation, the strange Kuiper Belt orbits suddenly made sense. The invisible planet's gravity naturally forced distant objects into the same bizarre alignments seen in real space. Even stranger, the simulation predicted additional behaviors that astronomers later observed. Some distant objects orbit above and below the solar system at steep angles. Others appear to move backward compared to most planets. These bizarre motions are extremely difficult to explain without a large gravitational influence shaping them. According to the simulations, Planet May 9th be roughly 5 to 6 times heavier than Earth and orbit the Sun on a highly tilted path. But one huge mystery remains. How did such a massive world end up so far away? The outer solar system does not contain enough material to easily form giant planets. Beyond Neptune, matter becomes too spread out and sparse. Planet 9 likely did not originate where it currently exists. Scientists have proposed several possibilities. One theory suggests Planet 9 formed closer to the Sun billions of years ago, somewhere near Jupiter or Saturn. During the violent early days of the solar system, gravitational interactions between giant planets may have flung it outward into deep space before it could become a gas giant. Another theory is even more dramatic. Planet May 9th not belong to our solar system at all. It could be a rogue planet, a wandering world ejected from another star system and later captured by the Sun's gravity. If true, Planet 9 would be an alien planet orbiting our star, a stolen world drifting through eternal darkness. And yet, despite all this evidence, there is still one major problem. No one has actually seen it. Astronomers know roughly where Planet 9 should be located, but the search area is enormous. The planet would appear incredibly dim, moving slowly across the sky over decades. Finding it is like trying to spot a single grain of black sand in an ocean at night. But soon, humanity may finally have the technology powerful enough to reveal the truth. The hunt in the darkness. Right now, somewhere beyond Neptune, an invisible object may already be orbiting our sun, and humanity is preparing the most advanced search in history to find it. The challenge is almost unimaginable. If Planet 9 exists, it would be extremely dark, extremely cold, and unbelievably distant. Sunlight reaching the planet would be hundreds of times weaker than the light Earth receives. From our perspective, it would appear as little more than a faint moving dot buried among billions of stars. Even the largest telescopes on Earth struggle to detect something so dim. And there is another possibility scientists cannot ignore. Planet May 9th not exist at all. Some astronomers argue that the strange Kuiper Belt alignments could simply be statistical coincidence. Others believe the observations may be distorted by observational bias, the tendency to notice patterns because we expect them to exist. In other words, scientists searching for Planet May 9th be unconsciously interpreting evidence in ways that support the theory. There are also alternative explanations for the mysterious gravitational effects. One of the strangest involves a primordial black hole. Unlike normal black holes formed by dying stars, primordial black holes are hypothetical objects that may have formed moments after the Big Bang itself. Tiny regions of extremely dense matter could have collapsed directly into miniature black holes during the birth of the universe. If one of these objects wandered into our solar system, its gravity could potentially disturb distant Kuiper Belt objects in ways similar to Planet 9. The idea sounds insane, but mathematically it has not been ruled out. Another possibility is that our understanding of gravity itself may be incomplete at enormous distances from the Sun. Newton's laws and Einstein's equations work extraordinarily well across most of the observable universe, but scientists are always testing whether hidden effects emerge in extreme environments. The outer solar system remains one of the least explored regions humanity has ever studied. And that is exactly why the next decade could change everything. High in the mountains of Chile stands one of the most powerful astronomical instruments ever built, the Vera C. Rubin Observatory. This observatory contains the largest digital camera ever constructed for astronomy. Its mission is unlike anything attempted before. Beginning full operations in the late 2020s, Rubin will repeatedly scan the entire visible night sky every few nights for years. The result will effectively become a giant time-lapse movie of the universe. Instead of astronomers manually hunting for moving objects, the telescope will automatically detect tiny changes across the sky. Asteroids, comets, interstellar visitors, exploding stars, and potentially entire undiscovered planets. If Planet 9 is really out there, many scientists believe Rubin Observatory will finally reveal it. And if it finds nothing, that could be just as revolutionary. Because either humanity is about to discover a hidden giant planet at the edge of our solar system, or we are about to learn that something even stranger is shaping the darkness beyond Neptune. For over 100 years, the mystery has remained unsolved. But for the first time in human history, we may finally be close enough to the truth to uncover whatever has been hiding in the outer darkness all along. If this video made you feel small in the universe, subscribe for more cosmic mysteries.